Okay, bring this meeting to order of the Amador County Board of Supervisors. Would mind standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. This will be an interesting Board of Supervisors because we're also going to be breaking at 10 o'clock to convene the Board of Equalization of Directors. And after the BOE adjourns, the Board of Supervisors meeting will reconvene. We came out of closed session. 1A, nothing to report. 2A, nothing to report. And 3A was approved. Public matters not on the agenda, discussion items only, no action to be taken. Any person may address the board at this time upon any subject within the jurisdiction of Amador County Board of Supervisors. However, any matter that requires action may be referred to staff and/or committee for report and recommendation for possible action at a subsequent board meeting. Please note there's a 3-minute time limit.
Happy New Year, Chair, Board of Supervisors, everybody in this room. My name is Valerie Spake. I am the district representative for Senator Marie Alvarado Gill. And for those who may not know the district, it stretches from Truckee across the Central Valley into Stanislaus County and all the way down to Death Valley. So we are on the road quite a bit. And the purpose for me coming here today is just to share an update from the Senator's office, let the residents who are either online or in the room, let them know how we can help them navigate with state agencies if they're having any issues. And I also just wanted to give a brief update on what's happening with the Senator's office as well. It's good for you to know that her committee assignments for 2026, she's going to be the vice chair of the Agricultural Committee. So this will help advocate for farmers, ranchers, food producers who are essential to California's economy and rural counties like Amador. She is going to be the vice chair of the Revenue and Tax Committee. This helps oversee with state and local tax policy and fiscal matters. Another new committee assignment for her is the Government Organization Committee. This covers public safety, emergency response, and the use of state-controlled lands. And the next one is she's a member of the Joint Committee on Fairs, Allocation, and Classification. So this supports California Fairs and the Amador County Fair as well, and just supports the rural ag traditions of the counties. The other thing that I wanted to mention today is the Senator highlighted recently in a news advisory her key budget priorities for 2026. Briefly, those are the full funding of Prop 36, which I'm sure everyone in this room is aware of. It was approved overwhelmingly to reduce crime through treatment and enforcement. Current funding falls far short of what local law enforcement and providers say is needed. The next thing that's on her list is wildfire mitigation and prevention, with the call for at least $2 billion annually for forest health, vegetation management, year-round firefighters, and prioritizing CAL FIRE grants in high-risk areas. Just a few more items here, preserving health access, especially in rural areas, by restoring funding for distressed hospital loan programs. Every day, it seems like I'm on the phone with a rural hospital who has some real challenges meeting the bottom line, and so some serious help is needed there. Next, reducing unemployment insurance debt, which is now over $21 billion, to ease the burden of employers and support job creation. Reducing costs for renters by expanding the renter's tax credit, and investing in water storage and infrastructure, critical both for fire response and climate variability. So lastly, I just want to thank the county for their work on the Shake Ridge Road collapse. The Senator's been monitoring that. Our staff has been monitoring that as well. and we wanted to recognize the county's hard work in getting that repaired. And again, if any residents in Amador County is having an issue with a state agency, I encourage you to visit our website, contact our office so that we can open a case and help them. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good morning, supervisors and county staff. My name is Patricia Angija, and I am the treasurer for Amador's Heart of Gold, which is a newly formed nonprofit organization. Our purpose is to provide financial, emotional, and educational support to families affected by childhood cancer residing in Amador County. In only the past 2 years, there have been 5 cases of childhood cancer diagnosed in Amador County. One new case we just learned was diagnosed in November of 2025. The limited resources available in our county led to the forming of this organization by 2 of the moms of children with cancer, whose goal it is to have Amador's Heart of Gold be the organization families affected by childhood cancer can turn to. Thus far, our communities have come together in amazing ways to support the families that have been impacted by childhood cancer, and I know that Amador County will continue to show up for any new families facing this impossible situation. For those of you who have supported our fundraising efforts, our blood drive in honor of childhood cancer warriors Brooks Costello and Jesse Lee, and just in general have taken the time to learn about our mission, thank you very much. Please make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date on our future outreach events, and you can also email us at amadorsheartofgold@gmail.com. I'm here today to urge the Board of Supervisors to put pressure on Amador County Public Health, Amador Water Agency, Amador Air Agency, Mule Creek State Prison, U.S. Mine, Amador Quarry, the various wastewater treatment facilities throughout our county, the Regional Water Quality Control Board, the state agencies, also in relation to those as well, to have environmental testing be done, as having 5 cases diagnosed in just the past 2 years, 3 of which are in Ione, diagnosed in only an 8-month span of time, all living within less than a mile from each other, is very concerning. I believe that there have been a lot of articles regarding especially Mule Creek State Prison in Ione, having contamination. It was in 2018, 2022 was the most recent one, and the cancer cases diagnosed were in 2024, with moms all pregnant around that same time. So there's been definite questioning of what was in our environment during the time they were pregnant, and these kids were very, very young, that may have contributed to these cancer cases. Now, we mostly just want this investigated. If it comes out that there's nothing in our environment that is causing this, we just want to know. We want to have answers, because it is a nightmare and just the worst possible thing to be told. Your young child has been diagnosed with cancer, one of which has already passed away. And that's something no parent should have to go through. There have been various articles, like I said, most recent of which was in 2025, published by The Appeal, entitled, "If You Want to Live, Don't Drink the Water," and it talks about prisoners in Mule Creek State Prison getting sick from the drinking water. I have gone to Amador Water Agency, Amador County Public Health, and it seems like there's no one that wants to take responsibility for even just investigating these problems. We're not trying to place any blame, we just want it looked into, because it just seems like there are a lot of issues that possibly could be contributing to this. So I implore you to reach out to these agencies, work with them, and get them to do what they should be doing, which is investigating any problems that we may have. And also, I want to let any families going through this battle know that Amador's Heart of Gold is here for you. So please reach out if you need any assistance, and we will help you in any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Question for you.
Yes.
Do you know roughly how old the children were?
Yes, so let's see. Hold on 1 second. I do have that information. Let's see. Bear with me. So we did collect data at the time of diagnosis. Two of the children, okay, so the first case, case A, to withhold any, personal information, was diagnosed in December of 2023 at 10 months old. That case, we learned they were living in Calaveras County at the time of diagnosis, but now they do live in Comanche, so Amador County. The case B is in February of 2024 was the diagnosis at 10 months old. They live in Ione. The next one was August 2024 at 18 months old. They live in Ione as well. The case D is October 2024, diagnosed at 12 years old, living in Ione. And those last three were the three that live within a mile of each other, all within that 8-month span. Case E is April of 2025, diagnosed at 13 years old, and they live in Pine Grove, but they go to school in Jackson. So that's another question we've been like, well, they spend a lot of time at their school site, I'm sure, so I'm not sure exactly where or if, of course, that would have contributed to it. And our last case we just learned of in November of 2025, diagnosed at 13 and a half years old, lives in Sutter Creek and goes to school in Ione. Yeah.
Yeah, could you maybe write your phone number on there too?
Oh, absolutely. Let me see. I don't know if I accidentally picked up the contact sheet because I saw it up here. Let's see. No, I don't have it. Did you accidentally pick it up? All right. And I will send a follow-up email so you have all the information as well.
That'd be nice, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Morning.
My name is Amber Kuntz. I am an IHSS provider here in Amador County. I've been doing IHSS work on and off for about 30 years now. And I currently am living with my client due to the fact that she needs 24/7 care, but there's not enough workers that can take over for her due to our financial burden in this county. We are looking to see if we can get a raise of some sort. Let's see. Sorry. My client, she only gets 105 hours a month, and it's 24/7 care, which is way exceeding the hours that she's allotted a month. And our hours are not, I only work 18 hours a week because of the financial burdens and the hours that she's allotted. And let me see. Sorry about this.
Be sorry. Take a deep breath.
And there's not enough caregivers in this county due to our financial burdens and the cost of living. It costs $1,200 for a studio apartment in this county. And me, with what little amount I make, I cannot financially afford to get even a decent place of my own because of what I make. And even if we go a little higher, it's still going to be financially a burden on us. And there's a lot of people in our county that are not getting any providers because of nobody wants to make $18 an hour for IHSS when they can go and work at McDonald's making $20 an hour and good benefits. And which is a shame because there's a lot of people in this county that need help. So that way that they're not having to go to a care facility where they're not going to be taken care of. Their needs are not going to be met in a care facility. And most of us, we try to keep the people at home so they get the one-on-one care that they possibly need, whether it's changing them or whatever their needs are. We try to meet that as much as possible. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Morning.
See you. My name is Lori Donaldson. I've been in Amador County for just a little over a year, and I've been doing this work in IHSS here in Amador County for a little over a year. I've been doing it longer in other areas. A lot of our providers, our care providers, are struggling right now, and that's why I can't stress enough how important it is that we get some type of a raise. The wages that we earn are not a living wage. And the work that we do is of the utmost importance. We really need to get a strong wage in this new contract coming up. I'm fortunate. My sister and my niece, I live with them here in Pine Grove, and we share the cost of living. I could no more go out and get my own place to live right now if my life depended on it. But I don't want to quit the work that I do because it's very rewarding. I have a business degree. I've been in the business world for years, and I do this because it's fulfilling. It's needed. There's a lot of people in our community, our neighbors and friends and voters that need this care badly. I consider myself lucky that I do have family members that I can rely on to help so that we can help each other out. And this economy that we're living in we all know, is very difficult. All the prices are going up. The wages don't tend to follow suit. But I know there is something that can be done on behalf of this noble request. Groceries, insurance, gas prices, I have 4 clients and I drive all of them to their appointments. None of them drive. Not to mention the wear and tear one gets on a vehicle. You got to keep the maintenance up or you're not going to be a good care provider because you have to have a reliable vehicle. If I had a financial emergency at this point in my life, I would have to rely on other people to help me supplement that. And that's never a good feeling, especially somebody my age. You don't really want to have to do that. Our care providers need some economic security. We need to bring more people into this line of work. I recently found out that Amador County has the most unused IHSS hours, and that's because we don't have enough providers. And we need to be able to draw those providers in. This work is so necessary, so needed. These folks need our help, not just physical help. You're there for them emotionally. And it's really important. A strong wage increase in this contract would help with both of those aspects. I thank each of you for your time and for listening. Have a good day.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Supervisors?
Yeah, I have a comment. One thing, we had Shake Ridge Road blowout again. And this time, I talked to her, I think a couple board members and I, or multiple board members, talked to her CAO, and he said, hey, Chuck, is there going to be a disaster declaration? So whether it be federal or state money where we have to follow their mandates? And he says, no, it's going to be county money. And we're like, you know, we talked about it. We said, we want to do things a little bit different this time. Let's get some local talent. I'll tell you what I told Mr. Riley. So, you know, personally, I don't think we need any engineering or plans. Maybe draw some plans on a sheet of paper. Get some local contractors that have experience, know what they're doing, and we can get this done pretty cheap and efficient. And my guess is probably within a week, give or take a few days, Shake Ridge Road will be done, and it will be done economically, and I think pretty well. So I'd like to put a shout out to Public Works and also one of the local contractors, Jason Gazad's been up there kind of helping Public Works get things looking good. And so I think it'll be a good project, and it'll be affordable, and it'll be done timely, so I'm pretty happy about it. Also, Highway 49, I've been told by Caltrans they're going to widen it from Drytown Bridge up to the stoplight, and that's been kind of like Murder's Row. I don't think it'll be anytime soon. It'll take a while to go through their process, but I'm thinking maybe in a year or two we might see that road widen, because there's been a lot of people hurt or killed on that road. So that's good news.
In the theme of traffic, Highway 88 should be being striped today and tomorrow. That's the plan. Should be done hopefully by Thursday. Just a heads up. I've been in contact with our Caltrans representatives, so the fog lines will be back. I guess they couldn't put the fog lines on because the fog was so thick, which is kind of interesting, but.
Also, being he's not going to say nothing, I'll say it for him. I think Logan Carnell was instrumental in getting Jason Gazat on board for Shake Ridge up there. So that was good in his part.
Well, I'll add to this good news. I got an email here, and it caught me off guard. After 25 years, California is completely drought-free. Kind of a weird statement, but the new year began with a historic milestone for the Golden State. For the first time in 25 years, not a single square mile of California is classified as dry or in drought, according to the U.S. Drought Monitor. From 2012 to 2016, California experienced a severe drought that led to mandatory water restrictions and widespread public conservation. So I thought that was kind of an interesting email. So,
It's gonna rain now for the rest of the winter now that.
let me see, I've got some wood here, I'm knocking on it, so keep us out of there. Now we have the approval of the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Heard Supervisor Crew first, so call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next thing is the approval of the items on consent, and we already have 2 items to pull and put on regular thing. Is 7Q, we're gonna put it on 4B1, which is the Lenco Bearcat, and then 7L to 4C1, that is the animal control from the consent. Anybody from the public wanna talk about any of this? Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay. Supervisor Epperson? A second. Second by Supervisor Cornell. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's 5-0. We're on to regular agenda. Administrative action, presentation of resolution honoring Jim Cardoza upon his retirement after 26 years of service. I'm going to start this off with, make sure I get the right one here. Resolution honoring Jim Cardoza upon his retirement after 26 years of service with Amador County. Whereas Jim Cardoza was born in San Jose in 1970, and whereas Jim graduated in 1988 from Fairfield High School in Fairfield, California, and attended California State University of Sacramento from 1988 to 1995, obtaining his bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And whereas Jim married his wife, Gina, in 1995, and they have 4 amazing daughters, age 18 to 30. And whereas Jim attended the Sacramento Police Academy in 1998, and whereas Jim began his law enforcement career with the Amador County Sheriff's Office in June of 1999, as a deputy sheriff, and whereas Jim held the position of field training officer, marijuana specialist, unit operator, canine handler, and canine program manager, Amador County Sheriff's Office Dive and Swift Water Rescue team member and coordinator, less lethal and chemical munitions instructor, SWAT team member, assist SWAT team leader, commander, and executive officer. And whereas Jim was promoted to the rank of sergeant in September of 2007 and held the position of patrol supervisor, and whereas Jim graduated from FBI National Academy in 2011, and whereas Jim was promoted to the rank of lieutenant in January 2013 and served in both the patrol and investigation bureaus, and whereas Jim was promoted to the rank of captain in January of 2023, overseeing the Sheriff's Office Operational Division, therefore it be resolved, the Board of Supervisors of the County of Amador and the State of California do hereby honor, commend Jim Cardoza for his 26 years of service to the people of Amador County and the Amador County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff, did you want to come forward? Whew. You just have to write such a long thing here. All these wonderful things you've done.
Great job, Supervisor. Jim has had a great career. I got here in 1998, so I've pretty much been with Jim this entire time. Helped him through a lot of his promotions, promoted him not only to lieutenant but captain. He's been a tremendous asset for our office, our agency, the community, and it's kind of that bitter sorrow when you get to see somebody end their career. You know, it's a good time. He's earned it. He deserves it. But at the same time, it does leave a void. The good thing is we do have some good people in place.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Jim, did you want to say anything?
It's been a long career. It's been a very rewarding career. And I will say it's been the honor of my life to support and protect the citizens of Amador County and do what I can to promote the sheriff's office in doing the job that we're here to do. So I want to thank everyone for a wonderful career. So, thank you very much.
I thank you for all the times you've come up and briefed my District 3 Community Council, all the times you've given us wonderful information to make people's lives safer. So I truly appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Crew, second by Supervisor Epperson. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Picture time.
I thought your daughters should give a speech. No way.
They don't want to do that. See, now he thinks he's retiring, he's going to be hunting and fishing. I think he's going to be doing honeydews.
No, there's going to be honeydews. Okay, we're on to 4B. Discussion and possible action relative to adoption of presentation to resolution honoring Kim Legou and the Rodman family for Roaring Camp as the business person year of 2025. This has been a long time coming. We tried to do this last November, but timing just didn't work. And Kim is here This has just been an outstanding thing to do, and I'm going to read the resolution right quick. Whereas the property of Pine Acres Resort and Roaring Camp Mining Company was purchased by Elton and Dolores Rodman in the 1940s/50s, was Pine Acres being built in the mid-50s with the purpose of bringing people to Amador County. And whereas Roaring Camp Mining Company is still owned and operated by 3 generations of Rodman family. And whereas Roaring Camp is a genuine gold mine camp located on the McCollum River in California's Motherlode region. Whereas historically, Roaring Camp has established for 49ers during the gold rush, and due to its inaccessibility, gold remains in this area today. And whereas the siblings, Errol, Dennis, and Kim grew up working at the camp, where Kim still works to this day along with her children, Ricky and Nicole and their families, and niece Tammy and her family. And whereas Roaring Camp currently has 22 camp cabins and 8 tent sites, whereas visitors from all over the world are given the opportunity to experience operating a gold mine, pan for gold, enjoy a Saturday night steak dinner, and visit the Mining Artifact Museum. And whereas the beautiful area features waterfalls, rock formations, the confluence of 3 forks of the McCollum River, and is known as the best stretch of the river for swimming, hiking, and fishing. And whereas the family business shared business shared their love of Amador County and the mining business, and 5 generations of visitors, may of whom later become county residents. Therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Amador County, State of California, that said board does hereby adopt this resolution honoring King Lagoo with the Rodman family of Roaring Camp and being chosen Amador County Citizen of the Year for 2025. Anybody want to come forward? Okay. Understand. Understand. Okay, back to the board. Any statements from the board?
Oh, we had a good time down there this past summer.
Oh,
Just to
always
see you
do.
guys and see.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Well deserved, and I can honestly say after 20 years, I've been there once, which will not be the first time I've gone there, so I will plan to go back for many more. This is just, it's a wonderful place to go, and the family love is just incredible. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I move. Under.
Okay, I heard you both.
Second.
Oh, sorry.
I will say, I got my confession too now. I remember the first time I went there, I thought, wow, this place is really pretty cool. And I thought, all the years I lived here and I never went there. Kind of felt almost a little bit embarrassed, but it was a pretty neat place. And another time I was over by the old Peak Hill Market, that kind of dates me. And there's 2 people there, and they had wild eyes, and they'd driven from, was it Tennessee? And they were trying to find Roaring Camp. They wanted directions. They said, we're going to go find some gold and make ourselves rings. And they drove clear across the country to go mine gold and make a couple rings. I was amazed, and very nice operation. But, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Pat Crew was the first. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Supervisor Cornell, second.
I was first.
What's that?
I was first.
Oh, we're first? Okay.
Pine Grove's my town.
I don't want to take credit, sorry.
The sound was coming out so fast, that was. Okay, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Better not be. Okay. Picture time. Gotta at least come up.
Oh, no.
I have put 70 years into this.
Go.
We also have a second item for you.
Yes.
Dana Jorgensen with Assemblymember Hadwick. I'm really excited to give this away today. This is a wonderful business. I think of people and places that make Amador, gosh darn it. Terrible. Bones. Should go back to paper. People that really make Amador County unique, and Roaring Camp is one of those. And I've done this for quite a while, and I think back on some of the people that I've met over the years, and your dad, Elton, was one of those people that made a real impact on you. And he came to me one day, and he was upset about a government regulation, and he spoke his piece, and he contributed a lot to this community. I know your mom did as well, and the whole family, you're continuing it. So I would just encourage people, every time I've come, I've enjoyed it. So if you like, go for the gold, have a good meal, see something in a pretty environment, or just have a good time. It's the place to go. And as Ricky will say, please keep coming back because we don't want to get real jobs. So I encourage everybody to please keep coming back because I don't want Ricky to get a real job because he's having a good time. So this is a resolution from the Assembly, from my boss, Assemblymember Hadwick. She would like to be here and present it. They are back in Sacramento today. I apologize for that. We'll try to do what we can. So it's just closing. The supervisor covered a lot of this, just resolved by Assemblymember Heather Hadwick, the Kim Legoo and the Rodman family of Roaring. Lehue. I practiced that too. Oh. Be congratulated on their selection by the Amador County Chamber of Commerce as the Business Person of the Year and be commended for their exemplary record of civic leadership and best wishes for success for their future endeavors. I'm there, and Ricky always says, "They make you a deal."
Gold's only $4,500.
Oh,
See
yeah.
the back of my shirt on purpose. That's important.
Hey, before you run off, can I add one thing? What your family built, I don't think people realize, I didn't know it until I ran for office. There's more registered voters living in the subdivisions your family built than there are in all of downtown Sutter Creek.
When they were undergrounding all of our lines, they underestimated the amount of traffic control they were going to need for that little tiny taboo road. So we need to talk about that.
Oh, never mind. No, but those are all the 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes that our families can afford. So it is a gift.
Okay, we are on to 4C1, which was 7Q. The Amador County Sheriff's purchase of a Lenco Bearcat ballistic vehicle. Wanted to talk on this first?
Yes, I did. I can understand their desires to want to purchase it. I agree with a lot of it. I have some concerns over some of it. And I guess we've got the MRAP up there, and it has limitations. I mean, it'd probably be great out in the desert in Iraq or wherever like that. It'd be a wonderful thing, but it's pretty big to get around up here. So I can understand them wanting another vehicle, but they do have an existing MAT-V. And I was talking to Captain Martin and I think to Captain Cardoza. And just, and then we had a good conversation, and we're talking about the what, whys, wheres. It sounds like they can be hard to come across used. I would like to explore that option if we could. I was talking to like Lenco, and they're saying, these sound like there's not tons of them out there. They do have a G3 out to a wholesaler who's refurbishing it now, but that would come on the market probably later this year. And also, I don't know and maybe it might be a question for Mr. Martin, is, you know, what do neighboring counties have as far as for their SWAT vehicles? And would there be any chance of, if you have like a major incident, maybe partner with them to have them bring their armored vehicle? I'm pretty sure, I mean, El Dorado has a helicopter, which thank you for not asking for one of those. I appreciate that. I'm just looking, trying to save some money to, because we got roads that are going to hell all over the place. And I have some concerns about spending, you know, $400 some odd thousand on that, a brand new Bearcat. Because we have one, you have the Matt V. I guess Mr. Redmond would like to address that. I'd appreciate any light you could shed on it.
Yes, since this purchase is solely on me, I will address your concerns. And I'm glad you reached out to my staff yesterday. So this has been about a 7-year project on my radar because I knew the limitations of both those military vehicles. They're great in the military. They're great in Afghanistan. What they are not good at is us having to adapt and make them work for civilian law enforcement purposes. We did it because of, at the time, I was not sheriff. The decision was made that we weren't going to spend that money. So the Lenco Bearcat is pretty much the industry standard. I can tell you Tuolumne, Calaveras, El Dorado, Placer County, San Joaquin, Sacramento PD, Sacramento SO, all have Lenco Bearcats for a reason. Because they are the industry standard, they do hit that unique need that when the call comes out that we have either a armed subject, a barricaded subject, or we're doing high-risk warrant services, or we need to go in and rescue people. The ballistic protection is the same rating as our military vehicles, but the adaptability of getting the vehicles in and out, that even the Matt V poses some significant issues. And I wasn't going to address those issues within that memo because I don't want the information out there because there is some tactical information.
And you're probably on YouTube too, or one of the channels, so.
Yeah. There's some issues not only with the safety aspects, but also with being able to defeat these vehicles where the Lenco Bearcat lends itself and has corrected all of those issues. Once again, some different parameters between military and civilian law enforcement. As far as addressing your concerns of sharing equipment, the way it works is you better be self-sufficient. We can always ask for help. We can always rely on getting help, but during that moment's notice, time is of the essence, and we cannot rely on other counties to come in and save Amador County. It's always been my goal as sheriff to make sure that not only do my staff have the best equipment that I can possibly afford, but the county has the best equipment that we could afford to not only provide the safety for the staff, because that's really what this boils down to is how much money am I willing to spend to keep my staff safe and from being killed? How much money am I willing to spend to be able to safely go in and rescue people within Amador County? And the fact is, I understand what you're saying, Mr. Oneto, as far as roads and some of those other issues. This has zero impact to the general fund, zero. This does not take away money from roads. I'm not going to give you that $480,000 so you can go fix the roads. That's up to you to find that money. But the fact is,
I'm working on it.
Today my
That's
staff,
why we're here.
My staff is meeting with the new Public Works Director because now the program managers that I've hired, we are now looking, because it is so important to provide not only for my office as far as the grants that are coming in, but also to the county as a whole. And we are going to be looking at trying to get some road grants in. That's my staff providing this service to Amador County that I'm covering. So once again, we are reducing our footprint to the general fund, and that will continue. That is a goal of mine. I've done it the last few years. I think we're going to be even bigger this year. So I get your concerns, but to say that this does
Appreciate that.
This does impact the general fund, it just doesn't.
I just had one question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I guess one thing I'd say is maybe it doesn't directly impact the general fund, but it's kind of like you have the rural crimes money and some other funds. Well, maybe I understand you can't pave roads with that. I understand that. But also sometimes maybe if you bought maybe some squad cars with that money, that can offset some of the pull on the general fund, you know, as far as budgeting. So depends how you cut that cake, you know, how many pieces you get out of it.
Do you realize I'm now giving 400,000 of that 500,000 to the county every year for employees?
No, what money?
Real crimes. So we get 500,000 a year, and we've done a very good job of saving this money, which allows me to be able to do some of these big expenses and not come to the board and ask for this money, whether it's infrastructure upgrades, whether it's pieces of equipment like this, whether it's guns, specialty items. We've done a great job at saving that money, but Martin Ryan and I both made an agreement with the county that we were going to fund positions for the new jail expansion because we knew what that was going to bring. So out of that 500,000, I'm giving 400,000 to the county every year.
Okay.
So for me to buy vehicles, no, I already have a fund to buy vehicles. I'm not going to give the county any more of my savings account.
And it is, you know, pretty much, depending how you divide it up, it comes down to money that is in this county that serves these citizens. And just an item of interest, I had some numbers from the CAO, and I thought I had the road numbers in here. I wish I did, because I know the road numbers, as far as money come from the general fund, are staying fairly static over the years. But as far as like the sheriff's budget, it's good you're getting more money. Hey, I mean, you need money to run your operation and take care of the people. We also need money for roads. But if you go back like budget year 2002, 2003, the sheriff's budget was about $7,785,000 and some change. And if you go to the sheriff's budget for the fiscal year 2023, 2024, the sheriff's budget is about $20,405,000. I'm not a DEI guy, just making that clear, but I like a little bit of equity. And I'm not throwing this at you or your predecessors. I'm just looking at it going, you know, we got roads that are in a crisis, and you know, you're looking out for your officer safety. I respect that, and I appreciate that. I think that's your job, and that's good. I also represent the citizens of this county like you do, and I'm looking at our roads and the public safety. And I'm going, man, we got a real crisis here too. So that's kind of why I don't enjoy arm wrestling with the sheriff's department. I'm just looking, going, say, hey, how can we get some more money for roads? I know everybody needs some money out of that pot. And I do appreciate your last year's budget, which I think was you put about $400,000 or $500,000 towards the county general fund. I do appreciate that. And if you're going to be doing more, hey, that's what I'm looking for. So
we are on track for reducing our overall footprint, which has been my goal. And when you talk about the budgets from 2003 to now 2026, those are all personnel costs. Our budget, our line items, our equipment, our maintenance, the way we run and do our business has pretty much stayed static for at least a decade. Unfortunately, personnel, people cost money.
I understand that. I'd like to see some of that overhead brought down a little bit, and we've argued about that, but I'm still there. I think it can be done, and the higher you get, the higher the pay rates are. And I would like to see a little bit of, how would you say, maybe consolidation there.
Yeah, I am expensive.
And I think I got somebody down there that has some, can't wait to have a few questions, so.
Just one quick question. Is there any potential we could wait on this until we get through negotiations? Because all signs are pointing downward. Sales tax is down. Our transfer taxes are down. I'm just concerned we're going to get to negotiations. I'd rather have high-paid deputies in jalopies than low-paid deputies in amazing equipment. So I'm just wondering if we could wait and just see where everything settles, but it's up to you.
I would prefer not to, and like I said, this has been on my radar for over 7 years. This is one of those, you know, I finally came to the realization that I'm never going to find a used unit. When I talk to Lenco Bearcat, they don't even refurbish them anymore, and if they are being refurbished by another outfit, they're getting snatched up, typically by the federal government. There's an 18-month lead time to be built, and the costs they're just going to keep increasing. Right now, I've got it locked in. So we are guaranteed that cost. So in 18, I don't have to pay a dime until 18 months.
Okay.
So I would prefer not to wait. And once again, I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, this it has zero impact to the general.
I just feel like we're gonna have less money when we're doing our budget next year than we had before, so I don't know where it all comes from, I'm just concerned.
Understood, but if we do or do not purchase this, that has zero impact to those negotiations.
Okay.
How much reduction will be from the other AMRAP, and I guess that will be auctioned off, or?
No, that was given to us by the federal
Right.
government under that program. We have to give it back.
Okay.
So we will get rid of the MRAP. Right now, we're gonna keep the MAT V. The MAT V, once again, has a lot of the similar limitations. It is smaller. We have had some mechanical issues, but I think we've worked through that. And once again, it's, you know, when you need one, typically you need two. So that gives us those options while we're working with our allied agencies. Last year alone, we were shot at over in Calaveras. They were getting shot at. We were right there with them in the MRAP. They were in their Bearcat. So there were two pieces of armor during that incident.
Okay.
So that was a joint effort then?
It was.
And I know purchasing equipment from my previous situation, I can tell you that the costs, they never go down, and you rarely save anything if you delay. I can just experience from that end of it things.
So Sheriff, you don't have to put anything down, and you got the price guaranteed?
Price guaranteed, zero down until we receive the vehicle.
It'll never be any cheaper than that.
No, it's not going down.
You know, how many calls a year do you have, like hostage situation or somebody, where basically you deploy, other than training, your tactical vehicle?
Typically, it's
Roughly.
roughly it's anywhere from a dozen to 20 uses as far as high-risk search warrants. As far as unplanned events, that just varies. The fact is, if we have one, that's all we need. The reason why we got this vehicle in the first place is we had an old Air Force Peacekeeper, which we had modified. I've tried to make it work for civilian law enforcement. And we were getting shot at by Jack Souza down in Comanche, and I was on that event. And Captain Martin, who's here with me, we had to go in and rescue a family. He was shooting at us with a 7mm Magnum. And I told the guys, I can tell you right now, this Peacekeeper will not stop a 7mm mag. If anybody does not want to go and go in front of where he's shooting for us to rescue this family, you don't have to go. They all jumped in. I told the captain, drive it like you stole it. And he did. And that's what really got us to get this one, the MRAP, is because it is 50 cal rated. So we were outgunned at the time. I don't ever want to be in that position again.
No, I remember hearing about that, and Buji Souza was a very good shot, so.
Yes, he was. And I talked to Jack afterwards and said, why didn't you shoot at us? He said, well, I shot at you several times just to basically tell you to go away. And I figured at that point you weren't going away. We were lucky.
Yeah.
That's what it came down to. I don't ever want to put my staff or the people of this county in that position again.
Yeah, that was, he had no bad intent. He was struggling, but yeah, if he had bad intent, that wouldn't have been a good situation.
Well, he did try to kill his neighbor, so I'm going to say he did.
Well, I mean, towards you guys, that's what I'm saying.
Towards us, yes. Thankfully.
Yeah.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
Any other questions?
Thank you.
No.
Okay. Anybody else want to talk on this? Anybody on Zoom? Okay. Back to the board. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Supervisor Epperson and Supervisor Crew, call for the vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'm gonna vote nay.
Okay.
I'd like to see if we can find a used one, or basically stay what we have, but, I understand the request. Not a bad request, I'm just looking at everything in its entity. Saturday, I mean.
That was a 4-1. I didn't, did you say yay? Okay, sorry.
I'm clear.
Approved 4-1. Okay. We're on to public health, presentation of 2025 annual report. Good morning.
Thank you Supervisors for having me speak today. And Heather, thank you for your help getting the presentation ready. I promise it will be painless. I'm going to give you an overview. This is set up as a presentation and a report, so hopefully it'll be a little more visually stimulating. And we'll go ahead and get started. So my name is Stacy. I'm with Public Health. Joanne Hassan is our director, and she's the one that overlooked this project. I completed it with the help of all of our staff members. All of them at Public Health, so all the programs are represented here. And I wanted to go through some of the highlights and achievements that we had in 2025. We built a patient navigator program with Sutter Amador Hospital, which is someone who works as the go-between between patients and the medical system. So if you've ever had some runaround, they help you with that. Next up, established a new deputy director position. Marcy is new to that role, and we're super excited to have her. She helps take the pressure off of Joanne as our deputy director, and then also helps with staffing. Next up, we look at the dollars behind public health and their impact. You can see it looks like quite a bit of money up on the screen there. State and public health programs pay the majority. Federal public health programs are next up, then the alignment funds. And then we've been working really hard on grants, on getting grants for our programs so that we're not impacting other budgets. You can go to the next one. So grants, I had mentioned, we have a whole new grant committee on our team and we're actively going for grant money. We had 15 opportunities this past year and we got 13. 10 grants were awarded and 1.8 million in new funding was secured to promote and help out with staffing and other program needs. Okay. The programs we broke down into 4 major families. We've got protecting community health with childhood safety, communicable disease, IZ, and rabies. Supporting families and strengthening communities from childhood lead poisoning prevention on down to home visiting and foster care. Empowering healthier lives. We've got California Children's Services. We've got the CalFresh Healthy Living Program and oral health, patient navigator that I spoke about, and then tobacco cessation, working really hard to get people to quit in 2026. The last one, the strategic initiatives. We have a community-based Medi-Cal admin activity. It's called CMA for short. We're very good with acronyms. That helps us work with Medi-Cal to bill hours and really support folks that need that assistance. On down through medical marijuana cards, important recalls on products and also food items, and then tattoo licensing. You can go to the next one. So protecting community childhood safety. These are just some stats that we shared, how many car seats, checks we did, how many that we provided to families in need. Look at that number, 55 checks. Helmet distribution, 211 helmets were distributed to the youth in Amador County. Drowning prevention, life vests were, save someone from drowning, give them a life vest. We also had water watcher tags, were kind of tags like this with one person identified as watching the water so that you're not distracted off with chatting or your phone. You can go to the next one. Communicable disease. That was a tough one with the C word not so long ago. With COVID out of the picture right now in large quantities, we were able to start reflecting more of our return to typical public health activity by seeing less folks coming in for COVID vaccinations. Next. Immunizations. It's super important to get kids immunized, especially when they're starting school. So the 294 vaccines for children, flu shots were given, and then TB screens for school district and other jobs. In the next one. Rabies, super important. We had 194 reports received in the county. We had animals tested, and skunk was the most positive out of all the other animals. This is a 2025 report, so you'll see in the 26 that we had some kittens and some other issues with rabies in the outer Lyon County areas. Children lead poisoning prevention. Yes, it's still happening. In our department, we had 33 case management situations with lead poisoning. It took 3 home inspection mitigations to make sure where that lead was coming from, and then lead contaminated recalls, toys, food, some spices that come over from Europe.
When you say cases
Yeah.
supported by management, or by case management,
Yes.
what are some examples of cases? Do you have any
Not
off
being
the top of your
too
head?
specific, but if perhaps someone had lead in the ground around their apartment, or maybe someone was tracking in a lead contamination from a work site.
People are having health issues with this, my question? Or?
Oh, yeah, the childhood part is where we're really focusing, because that can really impact their development, because everything's growing and young still. So what happens is that can impact the children even more.
Well, what's triggering the case is what I'm asking. Why are they coming to the public health?
Well, usually what happens is they get tested at a pediatrician, or if they have signs of lead poisoning. And what they do from there is I'm not super clear on the,
Okay.
our health officer, Dr. Kerr, she would know a little bit more.
A child
and
or
then,
adults having an issue with lead poisoning, basically, and
right.
why a case would be open?
Yes, and then someone from our team goes out and reviews everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just concerned about all the lead paint you ate as a child?
Yeah, that might be my problem. Explains it.
We found it.
Thank you for that. Good question. Go to the next slide, please. All right, strengthening communities, emergency preparedness. We've had several EP trainings. We have the total number of training hours is 302. We want to be prepared. Public health is part of that public safety. Active community preparedness members has grown substantially. We have 10% more, and it's growing. There's 137 members now that meet quarterly. Next slide. Foster care, and this is one I didn't know about. We have about 40 foster care cases, and we do the public health nurse portion of that to make sure these children are getting the services they need and help families that they're with navigate those needs as well. You can go to the next slide. You can read this more in depth. I just kind of glossing it over for the sake of time. Home visiting, another exciting project. We have 9 total families we're supporting right now. That's when a group, a tech from our department goes out to someone's home and works with them to build parenting skills and get the kids ready for school. Super important program. We do all kinds of outreach to support it, and the number of referral families is at 22. It's a relatively new program, so we hope to see it grow in the years to come. All right, I call it MACAW, Maternal, Child, and Adolescent Health. This is important. Anytime you talk about SIDS deaths, any kind of education about kids at home, this MACAW program is really, really substantial, and it's something that we're proud to support.
I was reading about SIDS deaths the other day, and it sounds like what Dr. Spock was advocating for is the proper protocol years ago, put your baby face down so they wouldn't flatten their head and yada, yada, yada. They figure now may have contributed to SIDS death because children are supposed to be on their backs.
That's right. Always back to sleep is what the saying goes. Put
So
them
it's-
down, back to sleep.
So sometimes you wonder about some of the advice you get in life.
Yeah, because what will they discover 20 years from now?
Exactly.
That's right. But for what the science is telling us now, you have that as an instance, that the back to sleep is the best place. But yes, things could change, and we've always got to have our eyes open for these children.
Public comment earlier about the childhood cancer. Is there any tie into this at all, or is this anything to do with those two things, or no?
Well, it's not tied to this. The cancer pieces in Ione especially were brought to our department, And our medical health officer contacted the state and they researched it. So in essence, what they found was that there was no corroborating information. And again, I don't want to misspeak because our health officer would probably do a better job at explaining that.
But we have investigated it.
Yes, the state has gone through it and then it's gone down through all the channels. Plus, I think there's some active stuff happening with Mule Creek. That's always under investigation, I guess.
Yeah,
That's kind of like a black hole down there.
Yeah, I mean, it's irrigation water largely. The drinking water comes from the AWA, so I don't know how that would be tied unless all the families lived around the golf course or were getting overspray or something perhaps.
Right, and nothing was found to be solid.
Yeah, the
It's a
water,
sad
the water's
thing.
tested pretty thoroughly. I've seen the reports. I mean, a lot of this stuff's non-detect, but that's all at the Regional Water Quality Control Board. Those reports come out pretty frequently. I actually met with the prison talking about some of that stuff a while back, so.
So maybe we'll switch spots on this one.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know.
To rephrase my
Nothing
comment.
conclusive, that's what comes out.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead,
I thought
you're
you were done.
No, you're-
To rephrase my comment about the prison being a black hole, it's a black hole with a big fence around it that you don't get any information out of. It's kind of how that place works.
Well, I'm happy to be on this side of the fence for now.
No, I'm not.
Make any promises, but for today, we're on this side of the
I refer to it as a gated community. It sounds nicer that way, but.
You guys are fun. All right, next slide, please. California Children's Services, anytime a child in need has a medical condition that's approved, they get the treatments that they need. And we have an advocate on staff that helps, again, navigate between family and the state and county. Next slide. I know we're pushing on time and I don't want to take up too much more. CalFresh Healthy Living. It's been a wonderful program. We have a group of folks that go out to schools, Jackson Elementary School, the state preschool. We did an activity field out on their blacktop. We painted like run, play. It was just one of those things to get the kids more active. And so we had students participating, over 500. Nutrition and physical activities and gardening classes held in the year were 21 at different schools. And unfortunately, this funding has been cut, so we aren't going to have this slide in presentations moving forward. We're hoping to integrate some of that healthy lifestyle stuff into other programs, but at this point, we won't have funding after March.
I think that's a hard thing because it's, it's like, look at my own family, you have kids do this or you do that, and you're on them, you're trying to say, hey, look at the good and the bad here directly, and it's like, I got one kid and maybe two kids, they all got in those damn energy drinks. And it's like, what do you want that garbage for? And it's like the youth, I told them, hey, when I was that your age, last thing I needed was an energy drink. I had too much energy, but, so as a society, how you keep kids from that, maybe, I don't know. It's, if as a parent you can't do it, I don't know how the hell the government's gonna do it. No offense, but it's a problem I see in society.
What's interesting with one of the programs is their garden on school campus. So it's interesting to see the children become more involved in where their food comes from, make healthier choices. So that might tip the scale a little bit on the energy drinks.
Oh, look, they're pretty pervasive. Look at the garbage can anytime you walk by a convenience store, plumb full of them. I'll keep my question
Okay.
done.
Next slide, please. Oral health, it's one of the biggest programs that we have. We had 762 oral health assessments that we went out to all the schools, made sure that every child had an opportunity for a healthy mouth. We reached 249 kindergartners to teach healthy habits and distributed over 1,400 dental kits to families and kids in need. Next slide. Patient Navigator, this is the one I'm most excited about. We just started this program. We're working with Sutter, Amador Hospital. We have 1.5 people slated for this. And what they're doing is working between the end user, the medical person, and the patient to help connect people with services. That runaround can be a little debilitating, especially if you don't have time or the tools that you need to reach the services that you need. Outcomes, we had 51 clients establish primary care medicine, and then 39 clients has scheduled all those attended appointments. So that's a pretty high rate. Tobacco reduction. Enforcement is happening. We're trying to look at ways to help support folks with their quit journey, quit for 2026. And we've got a bunch of things going on with that this year, and we'll share that next time up. Next slide. All right, initiatives. I had mentioned the CMAW earlier. It's a way for local agencies to participate and enroll people in Medi-Cal and get them the support they need. The marijuana cards, recalls, and tattoo licensing were also mentioned. Then we have some goals for 2026, and I'll be done. We want to continue to acquire and promote qualified team members as our budget allows. We want to invest in workforce development and training. We're working towards public health accreditation, complete community health improvement plan, which we're working on right now. Build and develop collaborative groups to better serve the county. That's super important. You know, this is a wonderful place we live. And develop additional revenue streams to support our efforts, which is fancy for more grants, please. And that's pretty much it. The last slide, we wanted to thank the public health team for letting me pester them for numbers so that we could get this report together and out to y'all. Thank you.
Thank you for the report.
Question on the marijuana cards, what is that?
Before legalizing California, you had to have medical right to get to buy the product. And now, so if you're going outside of California, you can have a medical marijuana card that is sometimes honored in that other state, like Hawaii or Nevada, depending.
I think it's curious that we've gone from not smoking cigarettes to smoking marijuana, and then we're seeing a lot of reports are showing that the instances of schizophrenia and some other mental ailments are way on the increase, and it's tied directly to its use. It's a thing. I mean, it's adolescence up into your early 20s. The impacts are 80% higher in some cases.
And then the vaping piece, you know, makes it easier, right? You
Right.
can-
It's delivery systems, I suppose, is probably
Yes,
the
good
larger
point.
issue, but yeah.
Good point.
I think the marijuana is not like a lot of people had in college back in the 60s and 70s. It's some pretty potent stuff anymore.
Very potent.
You know, question for you. Do we track locally? It may not be a fair question. Maybe it's something I need to ask Dr. Curd. Do we track adverse reactions to vaccinations in general in this county?
I know that they do tracking of vaccinations. If something happens while they're there, I mean, there's a protocol, but I'm not certain that we as a county track that, but it is something I can find out for you.
I wish we would, because it seems like I'm kind of a butterfly. I talk to people. And I'm astounded I'll be out somewhere, somebody I never met in my life, or minimal, and I'll say something about vaccinations or autism or something like that. And the number of people that say, oh yeah, my little niece or my best friend's son or daughter, the amount of people that, and they won't tell you unless you say something, and bam, they like a fish coming to like a live worm, and then they strike. And they say, oh yeah, this or that. The amount of people have reactions, I think, to the vaccines is off the charts in my opinion. 'Cause I talk to so many people. I wish I'd wrote them down over the years. And they can't all be stupid or liars. And I'm going, if half of them are true, even a quarter, that number's huge. Whereas the vaccination, I was saying maybe Tylenol, there's some kind of connection to vaccinations and I think childhood issues, especially autism. And it's something I wish we could track at this county. If they're coming from the county, I think we'd have some honest numbers. State and federal numbers, I'm not sure. It depends on who's in what political seat, what numbers you get, I think.
Right.
But I think there is a problem there. I thought that for years, and I keep getting more and more information and going, there is an issue there.
Yeah, it's super important to honor everybody's belief and then look at the science as well and just be able to
I'd like to look at the numbers.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I
It's
wrote
like,
it down.
for instance, everybody knows Barton Mara Gilman. I'll leave that aside, but it's like my daughter, one day I was telling her what I thought about this. She said, Daddy, she said, your helicopter's upside down and it's running out of gas. So she didn't believe me, even though my own daughter, it's Daddy, you're just going off on your tangents. And I said, girl, I'm telling you, there's an issue there. She called me up about 6 months or a year later, just about hysterical. Her best friend and her best friend husband went down to get either the first childhood shots or early baby shots. And like almost immediately, the baby went from all systems were green, lights, green, almost starting to talk, almost starting to walk, but you get pretty mobile, to laying there. She lays there like a vegetable. Their baby does nothing. What should they do? And I'm like, God, I don't know what the hell to tell her. I said, I don't think there's really much you can do to reverse that page. I said, maybe tell them to pray and pray hard. I don't know what else they can do. And that child was like that for weeks, I want to say months, quite a while, because I asked, hey, your friend's baby, how's it doing? It's still laying there doing nothing. And that was like a day or two after the shot. And I hear this similar cases, one after another, and I'm going, there is a problem there. And you look at our autism rates, they're off the charts. And it's something I wish we'd look at, and maybe it's something the federal government might be looking at closer. I hope they give it an honest look, because I would bet you everything I own gets $100, whether it's a Tylenol or the shot, but there's a big problem around childhood vaccinations.
So what I'm hearing is you'd like some numbers.
I would love some numbers.
Yeah, okay.
Start tracking them, and tell people, hey, and pay attention.
Well, I'm fairly certain they're tracked. I don't know to the extent that public health in Amador County is tracking any negative impacts, but that's something we could definitely look into.
I know you got the VAERS system, but I'd love to track it locally.
I hear you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
And board, thank you for indulging. I appreciate it.
I didn't get the tap from
It's something I feel
Supervisor
very
Crew.
passionate about. I think it's a problem.
Get out of the system because March is coming.
Okay, we're going to adjourn the Board of Supervisors meeting and convene as the Board of Equalization Directors. And as soon as that is completed, we'll reconvene as the Board of Supervisors. So, we've already done the Pledge of Allegiance, so right now we're going on to stipulations. 1A, Assessor Stipulation 25-05. That's you.
Good morning, everybody. Jeff Himmelman, I'm the Assistant Assessor. This stipulation was a date-of-death reappraisal. We were unable to access the property. It's remote, gated. We presumed it was in average condition. When we came up with the number, we ended up hearing from the property owner who lives in Rockland, and she provided a private appraisal that came up with 340, and we agreed to stipulate to that number.
Where's the property?
It's off of Marble Quarry, off of Lupe, north of Ridge.
Yeah.
Any questions?
No.
Yeah. So do I have a motion to approve this?
Second.
Okay, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much. And now the Board of Equalization has been adjourned.
That's my kind of meeting right there.
There we go. Done.
Okay.
Over now.
So now we are on to, if I get my,
4C1.
yeah, 4C1.
Mr. Chairman, we do have, 4C1?
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
That's the one we're.
4C1, which is 7L, the animal control, receipt of grant funding for American Society of Prevention of Cruelty to Animals in approximate amount of $76,000.
Morning, Board. Evan Jacobs, Director of Animal Control. Yes, we are here. We were fortunate to apply for a grant specifically for California for wildfires. That'll help us respond with some equipment, trailers, generators, some laptops, pretty much emergency sheltering when things get a little too burdensome. So SPCA came out last year with a grant opportunity of $5 million. We applied for about 76,000. And so we are just looking to get that approved.
Now, is this going to supplement our ACART?
Yes.
And what's the other one?
We've got ACART, that's, with
Animal
us, and then
response.
ETA.
ETA,
Emergency Teams of Amador. So this helps augment that. Also, there's a component, I believe it was last year or late 2024, animal control has to respond if a Red Cross shelter is open. So there is that other additional resource that we have to provide. There's some caveats to that as well, but if a shelter gets put up, we do have to help with them, so we can use some of that equipment if needed in a pinch.
How does this augment ETA? Is it?
So
up at
it doesn't
16?
augment ETA or ACART, it just helps us if we need to. Ultimately, animal control is the agency responsible for sheltering. So we've got ACART under animal control, and then we have ETA that's under the sheriff's department. And so if either one of those get activated and they need additional help, we can help them with those needs. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Okay, any other?
So moved.
Yeah, a second.
Perfect.
Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I just asked that because ETA is going to ask me.
Oh, yeah, not a problem.
I don't know who runs it, but,
I believe it's Bobby Lawton.
oh, my
Yeah.
mother-in-law, yeah.
I walked right into that, didn't I?
Okay, thank you very
Awesome,
much.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on to 4D, unless anybody needs to take a break. Okay. Discussion and possible action relative to scholarships currently being awarded by the Board of Supervisors annually. Currently, one-time $1,000 scholarship is given to one student at Amador High and one from Argonaut High. And now we want to look at independence.
So I called Miss Bellotti, and she was asking about scholarship for North Star, and I just kind of did the math with her, the combination of North Star and Independence. And then I was actually thinking of adding homeschoolers as well, and just make one scholarship that we could call like an alternative school scholarship. That's the
So
same amount.
that third group would be,
They would be all three of those included in being able to apply for an alternative school scholarship.
Any other graduates, basically?
Correct. So North Star and Independence combined have less students than Amador or Argonaut, but if we added homeschool, it'd be sort of a similar number of students applying, a similar pool, so similar odds for applying for a scholarship.
okay, so there'll still be just a total of 3 scholarships.
3 total.
And I won't have to borrow any money from you this year either, so that's good news.
Do you have money now? Well, no,
I have
not
money
yet.
now. It
I
turns
would
out.
rather we do a vocational scholarship and just include them in the pool.
I like vocational scholarships, but I think it'd be nice if you had one Amador, one Argonaut, and one for all the rest. What we could,
Just increase their odds. I don't know.
might make Chuck lose a few more hairs, but, would you want to consider a fourth one for vocational? No. Okay. Well, what we could do is maybe change our grading criteria to where vocational could qualify, because our criteria right now makes it really hard for a vocational student to qualify.
The scholarship this year to Amador is headed towards a vocation.
Okay.
And when I was assessing all of them, I looked, one of the highest criteria was with whether the student had a job throughout high school. Because often they would have less community service, and I'd try to figure out why, and I'd go look and find out they were working full-time while going through school.
All I'm saying, though, it'd make it, if our criteria was to change some, we could probably, because it makes it hard for a lot of vocational kids to qualify under our criteria, the way it's set up.
Actually, I know where the scholarship's being spent for the one for Amador. It's at, North Star Trucking, they're getting their commercial driver's licenses with.
Rotary Club added a vocational scholarship, and we had like 14 applicants. And most of them were like B student. I mean, they were okay students, but they weren't in that top 4 or 5 that end up getting all the scholarships.
That's why I'm saying the board's criteria, how we
Yeah,
grade.
I was following that up, yeah.
Yeah.
We just named it vocational, so we took the real scholars, the top 10s. And it was interesting that one kid got this to go to UTI. And, no, we gave it to him, he was going to lineman school and get a job with SMUD. That was his goal. He only had one problem. He was afraid of heights. He bailed out after a week. He got through the first week and he sent us a letter. Hey, I'm going to UTI, which was my second choice. Can I transfer the money? Because we hadn't paid it yet. And we did that, but.
Well, that's a real phobia. I mean, it's not I mean, people can have it. I got a friend of mine climbs trees. He says his deal is 70 foot. When he hits 70 foot, he's got to stop, kind of go, And once he's past 70 foot, he's okay.
Really?
The only reason I was thinking of just as an alternative school is I just run into people all the time around the county and, are you from here? Oh, yeah. Did you go to Amador or Argonaut? And they kind of sheepishly roll their shoulders under. And I say, oh, you went to Independence. And, you know, there's a little bit of shame for some people in that, yet they're these productive, upstanding members of our community. They have families and kids, and I just would like to see something more targeted towards that audience or talent.
I think I could support that, and maybe if the supervisors were amenable to it, maybe if we could change our scoring criteria, give a little more flexibility. I mean, we did some, but probably need a little more. Then maybe at some point, you could get that vocational person getting that scholarship a little more readily.
I didn't know there was criteria when I was grading.
That's the first sheet that
There wasn't a score sheets, but yeah, you know, and how's the board feel about that?
I'm good with it.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right.
So we're making a motion to adopt a third scholarship for our alternative forms of education other than Amador and Argonaut High School graduates, and amending our criteria to allow for vocational schools.
Yeah.
Allowed to just as easily grant the scholarship to a vocational school.
And I would suggest too that maybe to make sure that they're actually residents of Amador County and they go to school in Amador County, because there's a little bit of both, a little bit of bleed overs. Kids that travel out of the county, they go to other schools too, I'm pretty sure.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
Not many, but I would like to have it for kids that are being educated and that are residents of Amador County, just to clarify that little piece a little bit.
Was that a motion, Logan?
That was my motion.
I'll second it.
Do we have a second? Who was the second? Okay.
Public
Supervisor
comment? I
Neto?
don't think there's any public comment, but.
Any public comment? Zoom? Okay. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
You left homeschoolers.
We can do the minutes right quick.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second?
Approved by Supervisor Epson, second by Supervisor Neto. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And, my phone says 10:30, so we can go on to public hearing.
Steve Zanetta, Amador County Surveyor.
Oh, wait a second, I'm sorry. We got an open public hearing.
Yes, you do.
Now we can do.
Okay. Good morning, Chairman.
Morning.
Board members, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I hope it's been a better one for you. Anyway, the CUFOs came in and applied to merge 2 lots up in the Pioneer area. There was no problem with it. We had one inquiry from Volcano Telephone. And I think it's, even on your drawing, it did not show the continuation of the easements across the flagpole. Once that was corrected and redistributed back to Volcano Telephone, they had no issues with the merger. The other issue we had is getting a mailing list up to the board with problems with Parcel Quest and being kind of new. It took a while to get that, so we kind of got late in getting that mailed out, and would like to ask to continue this hearing on to the next agenda.
Okay.
And I don't expect anything, but we need to give time limit for the mailings to get out to the adjoining owners and see if we get any response from them.
Okay, anything from the supervisors? Okay. Anything from the public? We have nothing in the audience, nothing on Zoom. So we will continue this public hearing until January 27th at 10:30.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Way to do it.
So this meeting is adjourned until Tuesday, January 27th at 9 a.m. Closed session begins at 8:30.